Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm in Steve's office again, and you may notice it is nowhere near as echoey in here anymore because yesterday I laid the carpet in here. I'm trying to kind of block it out with my arms so you can't see. But yeah, I actually filmed the whole process, so I'm going to show you guys in this video. Just a heads up, this isn't like a step-by-step kind of tutorial or anything like that. It was more just kind of documenting my first attempt at doing carpet, which actually was nowhere near as scary as I thought it would be. So stop. So yeah, it's not like a little tutorial or anything, it's just me documenting the process and just sharing with you guys what I learned from doing it. So yeah, let me show you what I got up to, what I did, what tools I used, and then I will show you the final result. So first step was attaching the carpet grippers. If you don't know what carpet grippers are, they are literally just little strips of wood which have little tacks sticking out which are angled, which will hold down the edge of the carpet. They already have these nails attached to them, so all you have to do is place them and hammer them in. The only thing to bear in mind is that you have to attach them with the tacks slanting towards the skirting board so that it can grip the carpet properly. You'll see that I'm moving around a cut off of flooring sample because you're meant to leave a 7 to 8mm gap between the skirting board and the carpet grippers, so I'm just using that as a spacer just to make the job a lot easier. Next up is laying the underlay. So we've gone for a really thick spongy underlay which matches some of the underlay in the other rooms. I'll link down below where I got this one from, but it's really simple. You just roll it out and kind of cut it with some scissors or with a Stanley knife to the right length. I made sure that it was all butted up against the carpet grippers I just laid as well. I would definitely recommend getting a decent underlay, a really nice thick one, because this will give you a much more kind of like spongy, soft feel underfoot. Once I'd rolled out all my underlay, I then went along with my electric staple gun and just put a couple of staples in periodically to kind of make sure that it didn't shift or move. This was probably the most difficult bit about the whole carpeting process, was getting the carpet in the actual room. Obviously this roll is really long, it needs to be a little bit longer than the room so you have a little bit of excess. So once I'd got it in the room, I just unpackaged it and rolled it out. This is definitely a two-person job. I was just trying to be a strong, independent woman, but in hindsight I definitely should have gotten Steve in here to help me straighten this out. So I tried to get it as square as possible to the room and flatten it out as much as possible. One tip I heard was that you should shuffle along it to get out all the lumps and bumps, which looks absolutely ridiculous sped up. Once it was all flattened out, I grabbed my tool. So I have a knee kicker, which is to kind of stretch out the carpet itself. And I also have this kind of metal tucking tool, which is used to tuck the carpet between the carpet grippers and the skirting board. I did a fair bit of research before I started this project, and it's said to kind of start in the far corner from the door and then work your way along the longest side. So you'll see here, all I'm doing is cutting off a little bit of the excess of the carpet. I just worked in small sections that were kind of easy to manage. I then go in with a carpet gripper and kind of knee the carpet to stretch it out as much as possible, and then just tuck the carpet in between the gripper and the skirting board. You don't actually need to hammer it. I was way too generous with my cuts and I should have cut off a little bit more because it made it a little bit too difficult to tuck. I mainly use the hammer just to kind of save my hands a little bit, but you definitely don't need to hammer it in. I worked my way along the far back wall, which is the longest part of the wall, and then just down the shorter side, and then the last long side by the door. The boys were there for the whole process, being really, really nosy and not being very helpful whatsoever, but they definitely love having the carpet back in this room. Their little smiley faces are killing me. Okay, so here is the final result. So happy with how this turned out. I honestly thought it was going to be a lot more difficult, but this is probably the easiest thing I've actually tackled in this room. So this carpet is from Carpetright. I got it in the sale. I literally just ordered 3 different sizes, so I've ordered it for each of the bedrooms. It's in the colour Dove. It is slightly greyer than I was hoping it would be, just slightly, but I think once all the furniture is in here, it'll change how it kind of looks anyway. So carpet always looks very different when you roll it out compared to when you get a little sample. It always looks slightly different. But other than that, I'm really happy with how it turns out. It's so nice having a bit of contrast between the walls and stuff. I still need to touch up a lot of the skirting board, so let's ignore that. And also it when I was unrolling it, I scraped the walls up a little bit. But yeah, so happy with how it's turned out. It's really nice and soft to walk on as well. I will leave, I think I just said this, I'll leave the link for the carpet I got down in the description box in case anyone is curious. It's definitely a good quality budget option. We didn't want anything that was really horrible and thin. Some of the samples that I got were just awful. This is a really nice kind of medium pile rug, and I put a nice thick underlay down as well, so it feels super soft underfoot, but it's going to be really good traffic wise. Do you like the new carpet, mister? He loves it. That perfect sunbathing spot. One thing that I actually haven't done is the bit in the doorway. So this door does actually need a little bit of a shave down. It was catching on the old carpet anyway, but we obviously don't want to create those marks in this carpet, so I need to shave it down just ever so slightly, and I haven't got a threshold bar yet, so hence why that looks very unfinished. I was just going to leave it like that until wow, you guys really love this carpet. I was going to leave it like that until we got the flooring done in the hallway, just so it looks nice and seamless. We'll get a nice threshold bar, but for now that's fine. You can come in this room now. I feel like I've been telling them to not come in this room for so long that they're now just don't want to come in the room. So yeah, really happy with how this turned out, like I've said about 1,000 times. But I feel like carpet is one of those things that seems really daunting. But it's actually a lot easier than you think it would be. I'm glad that I started in this room because it's a small room, it's square, it doesn't have any awkward little bits. Our master bedroom has a walk-in and then it opens out, so that'll be a little bit more difficult to do. But I'm glad that I started with this room. It was a good kind of learning step. There's definitely a couple of things that I want to improve on. One thing being, when I cut the carpet back, I was being very generous with how much I was leaving, which meant I had to tuck loads in and then it kind of bunches up a bit. So I need to be a little bit more ruthless and cut closer to the skirting board, so I'm not tucking as much between the carpet gripper and the skirting board, if that makes sense, because I feel like I'd left too much, try and shove it down, and then it would kind of bunch up a little bit. So there's definitely a couple of little things I want to improve on. I also didn't, when I put it down, didn't get it perfectly kind of straight in the room, which made the cutting a little bit more difficult, but not that bad. But yeah, so happy. We did this is my first ever time laying any kind of flooring that's not a peel and stick tile. In our last house, we bought a new build and we had someone come and lay the flooring, all the carpet in that house, and he did give us a couple of good tips, which I feel like we've remembered and applied here, which basically we wanted that really nice kind of soft underfoot feel, but going with a really thick pile carpet, you're just going to get loads of footprints in it. It's going to wear really badly if it's high traffic and stuff. This is an office, so it's going to be relatively high traffic, not as bad as a hallway or anything like that, but we wanted to make sure we had a really good durable option. So we went with more of a medium pile rug, and then we made sure that we got a really nice thick spongy underlay with it. That was the top tip that he gave us. I think with our last house we went with something called like Nimbus, like Cloud9 Nimbus or something. This time I just got it from Screwfix, I think. I'll link it all down below anyway in case anyone is looking to do something similar. But yeah, everything was pretty affordable. I literally just got the underlay, carpet, and the only tools that I really needed was a knife, what are we calling that? Like a Stanley knife, a knee kicker, and one of those like pushing down tools. That's all you really need. You can get that all from like your local hardware store. So I would suggest anyone who is thinking about it, definitely just give it a go, because you're going to save a lot of money, and it's really, out of all the things you could do, it's actually not that difficult, which I was really surprised about. So this room is feeling so much warmer, it's less echoey. I feel like it's starting to come together. Obviously there's some big things that need to change, like the windows, but now we can get Steve moved back into this room and style it up, which is going to be the next video. So watch this space, that is coming up very soon. I'm going to start on that today actually. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and found it interesting. Don't forget to subscribe and like, got lots more coming your way. But I will see you guys in the next one.